Real quick before you watch this video, if you're not getting notified when I upload videos, it's probably because you haven't clicked the bell symbol next to the subscribe button down there. Also, if you haven't received an email from me with discount codes and secret giveaways, it's also probably because you haven't clicked this link and signed up for my email list. You might want to do that now. Enjoy the video.
Well, I took an 18-second hit of crack cocaine that locked me in for 18 years.
Every great city of the world seems to have an area given over to the fleshly needs of men. In San Francisco, this area is called the Tenderloin. It is a marketplace of vice, degradation, and human misery.
I arrived in the Tenderloin roughly about 35 years ago, and immediately became addicted to the Tenderloin in living here and the drug addiction.
Gotcha.
And the lifestyle of the Tenderloin, which is a very unique place.
I don't want to be in the Tenderloins. I love San Francisco, but Tenderloins...
It is stinking, scary, dirty.
The sidewalk in front is crowded most nights.
If you come in the Tenderloins and you want to be in the Tenderloins, don't stay there. Like, get up out of there, because once you get sucked up in the Tenderloins, it's a black hole for you.
You know, the image of homelessness is caricaturized by, you know, the distressed, dirty-looking guy on the street corner with a bucket in his hand asking for coins. That tends to be the most pervasive image. That's heartbreaking, because there's an image of homelessness that does not get seen. I mean, these are real people, you know, and the one thing that stood out to me that, you know, that I really kind of latched onto was their resilience, their ability to smile and still talk to me about their conditions with the utmost level of confidence. There was a beauty in that, but at the same time, I couldn't help but notice that this beauty was trapped behind a face of heartache.
So I've been homeless since I was 16, bouncing around from shelters, couch to couch, cars, friends and family's houses. Still homeless, going through a shelter right now. And I'm just working on being stable. So.
Gotcha. If you don't mind me asking, so how did you get to become homeless at 16?
Well, basically my mom lost our housing out here.
Okay.
And that led us, my family, to be separated. All of us went into different, like, relative houses. Okay.
So you had brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I have sisters and nephews, and we were all separated.
Homeless may be invisible to most of us, but it's hard to ignore the increasing number of children who have no place to call home.
1 in 20 children is homeless.
1,200 homeless families with 2 kids on average each.
A homeless mother begging for money with her baby.
This is unacceptable.
There's 3,500 to 4,000 children in the Tenderloin mid-market area, and many of them reside in the single residency occupancy homes.
I feel for them. You know, a lot of times I understand, you know, how they became homeless.
There's just lack of housing is causing us to be homeless, being on the streets.
It's a humanitarian crisis.
So what was life like on the streets for you at that time?
It was crazy. You know, being 16, now that I think about it now, I mean, it was nothing, I can't say nothing really bad happened. It was freedom, but, well, I didn't have no responsibilities back then. But now as I'm getting older, it's difficult.
Gotcha.
Now I have nowhere to sleep, finding vacant buildings type of stuff, like, or stairways, or I've even slept at a bus stop before.
So as of right now, what's the hardest thing about being homeless in San Francisco for you?
Stability, period, because you need stability to get a job. And then even when we have a shelter and I'm trying to get a job, I need to get childcare. It's hard
do you have
because
kids?
Yes, I have 4 actually.
Okay. What about from a job perspective? Is it hard or easy to find a job out here? Or is
It's pretty easy, I want to say, because there's a lot of jobs out here. If people actually take the chance to use all the resources, I would say that's another thing about San Francisco. They got a lot of resources for everything.
Well, do you any type of homeless outreach services or anything? I don't use any resources, but they're always offering resources. San Francisco is just a good place to hang out.
There are as many resources as we do give out here in San Francisco for a person not to take a resource or to use whatever excuse in life. I feel like that's not on San Francisco.
Gotcha.
That's on, like, yourself, you know? We choose our own path to life. Everybody has a chance, and it's either you take it or you don't take it.
Take a trip with me, time to stop. Anywhere's like a place to drop.
So why were you on the streets to begin with?
Well, I wasn't on the streets when I got here that day.
You weren't?
No, I was just coming over here for a staycation or whatever.
Oh, okay.
No, it was no intention to come over here to become a drug addict. That was not my plan that morning when I got up to come over here to be an 18-year drug addict.
So when you took that first hit, what did the next day look like?
Trying to get the next one, trying to get the next one, trying to get the next one. Chasing the horse.
Gotcha.
That's what life was like. I was living on these streets right outside this window. In fact, 40 feet from this window was my street headquarters, where I used to live. I would tell people I lived on Turkentile. They said, "What's your address?" I said it was the green tent with the bullet hole and the flag outside.
Wow.
That's how set I was living on the street, acting stupid and crazy. A lot of times I lived in a dumpster because being a Vietnam vet, I felt safe in a steel container. A bullet cannot go through a dumpster.
Yeah.
So I felt like I was an armored carrier. So I was in there with the rats and the maggots and the roaches, but I felt safe.
That was static for you.
Yeah, and if anyone could think that stupidly to live in a dumpster, there's something wrong with them. And there was something wrong with me.
Do you think it was a combination of the drugs and just the mindset you had coming back home from the war?
I don't think the war had anything to do with it.
Really?
It was just my crazy decision for that euphoric high of crack cocaine that eliminated any reasonable thinking.
Where did you come from? Where did you go?
There was a time when tourists took home memories of San Francisco's famed cable cars. But these days, chances are, it's the image of someone begging, or dancing in the circles, or just wandering around the streets intoxicated or mentally ill. Those are the images that tourists are taking home.
You didn't smell it.
And now it's seriously affecting the city's biggest business, tourism.
They feel their safety is at risk because they're seeing so many people that are having issues.
I'm gonna run, I'm gonna find my own sweet way. In these back streets, I'm gonna drown. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Lost in this city, nobody knows.
What's a harder aspect of being a transit worker than, say, what you would normally have to deal with on a daily basis?
It's sort of a free-for-all at this moment. We have this all-door boarding policy where anybody and everybody could board the bus or the train from any of the doors. That right there creates a real dangerous situation.
A Muni bus driver attacked in San Francisco.
A group of people attacking a Muni bus, terrorizing the driver and the passengers on board.
You don't know who's entering, who's exiting. You don't know what's coming in your vehicle, what's exiting the vehicle. It's really a dangerous situation. You don't know what's happening 60 feet behind you.
Have you had any incidents that you can think of that come off the top of your head where, you know that particular policy has created a problem?
Everything from something as simple as not paying your fare to
Gotcha.
people entering the bus with drugs weapons, knives, guns, any type of paraphernalia, gang colors, gangsters. It's just so much that happens here on a daily basis.
Have you dealt with anything in particular in terms of that dynamic?
Imagine having a cup of vomit thrown in your face or feces thrown at you.
That happens?
It happens. Oh, yes.
Jesus.
The next time you board a bus in the East Bay, you might see something drivers say they've requested for years. Plexiglass shields now being tested on select routes to protect drivers from violent passengers.
We have to deal with mental issues on a daily basis, and the operators, we're not really trained as to how to de-escalate that. And unfortunately, oftentimes the operator is treated like the criminal as opposed to the victim. Well, you know what, you got spit on, so it's all right, man. Just brush it off, wipe your face, continue in service. Well, you got assaulted, you got punched, but you know what, at least you're not bleeding. Continue in service, it's okay. You didn't get a nosebleed, no fractures, you're good to go. Continue in service.
Wow. We put our life on the line every day and we don't have anything to protect ourselves.
If the general public doesn't know, then they just think, you better drive the bus because you're making $49 an hour. You're making 140 grand a year. So you better shut up and you better drive the bus. So continue in service.
Wow.
You know, and it seems trivial, like, don't worry about it, just continue in service. You know what? I'd want to see prosecution. If you spit on a police officer, I think that's an assault.
Some residents want the city to get tougher with people living on the streets.
Let's get them to the point where they have to make a decision between jail and rehab, and there's a way we can do that. Other cities do it, but for some reason San Francisco doesn't have the political will to.
Yeah, ending homelessness is a matter of both resources and political will and public support.
And address our most pressing problems, among them public safety.
Over the next 2 years, you will see more foot patrols throughout the city, and additional officers will be added to help address violent crime and property crime.
If the arrest and the incarceration is not addressing the root of the problem, which is an addiction, then it's not going to, you're still going to have the same results in the end.
This morning, from my car to here, I gave money to 3 blown out crack addicts. And I know what the money was for. Compassion.
Gotcha.
Because I'm not making them any more of a crack addict. And if I could offer them a chance for drug treatment right then, this morning, I would have immediately took them there. But since I couldn't, I'm not going to leave them out there.
Okay. So what you're saying is before, I guess, you rip out the dependency, there has to be a structure for them to fall into in order.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
We got a liquor store in every corner in Tenderloin. Why not have a drug rehab on every corner? Because what happens when you're fighting that man, and you say, you know what, this is it, I'm done, I'm done. And you turn around and look, you can find a liquor store, you can find a dope dealer, but you can't find a treatment. And you got to do it right then, because by the time you get to the next block, oh, I guess I just went through something, where's the next rock? So you got to be able to offer on-demand treatment 24/7, and we don't have that ability. Man, that would make such a difference.
A first-in-the-nation program to bring treatment directly to people suffering with addiction on our streets.
You know, somebody on the outside looking in, they say, well, okay, even though I don't necessarily agree with a lot of some of the policies that are pushed forward, because I think in many ways they kind of enable certain behavior that's self-destructive versus then fixing it, but I say, okay, maybe it's coming from a place of compassion. Maybe they are just compassionate. They're just trying to do something to fix that.
And they got compassion without passion. Compassion, compassion, you're just guilt-tripping yourself and pitying people. We don't need pity, we need passion.
Gotcha.
Keep your compassion at home, because that's BS. Bring us some passion. If you come with passion, then I know you really got a good heart and you really want to do something about this problem. I says, if you walk down the street and the guy is laying in his own waste, completely out of it, and read something and says, hey, brother, can you buy me a beer? What would you do? What would you do? Real quick, don't think about it. I want your real answer. What would you do?
Honestly?
Yeah, quick.
I'll probably say no.
Why?
Because I think I'll just be facilitating something.
Okay, if your neighbor, you've been living next door to, up in the hills, wherever you live, knocked on the door 9 o'clock at night and said, hey, buddy, you got an extra beer? I need a beer. And you have some refrigerator.
Wouldn't hesitate.
Wouldn't hesitate.
Yeah.
What's the difference, man? What's the difference?
I think it's an optics thing, right? So I see the effects of Tyrone laying on the street from being a drunk, whereas I may not see the effect of my neighbor. He may just be holding it. He may just be a functional drunk.
Okay,
right?
What's the difference?
I think if I knew my neighbor was a drunk, I might hesitate. I'll probably hesitate to give him a beer.
Now, you spoke of compassion a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Compassion. This man's in the worst situation in life.
Mm-hmm.
He's living on the street with bugs hanging off of his hair. If anyone needs a beer, he does. And why wouldn't you give him one? If anyone needs a beer, why not give him in his worst part of life? Guess what? He's already drunk.
Yeah.
You're not going to make him an addict. He's already there. Give him a damn beer, man.
In my entire life, I'm 35 years old. In my entire life, in the few days that I spent in San Francisco, I saw more open drug use than I did in my entire life of living on this planet. That's insane. And that's within the first couple of days. So that should tell you something. But for whatever reason, everything that I was learning as far as the policies, the politics, the ideologies, it was all just very enabling of a behavior that allowed this kind of mess to just thrive. And it really blew me away. What's even more baffling is the sheer amount of money and wealth that exists in a place like San Francisco. Like, you're literally talking about a city that contains some of the richest people in the world. You can be and have as much money as you want. You still got to have someone there to run the infrastructure, to make the life that you have possible. The people that keep the city going, right? And being able to kind of talk to these people and put a face on, these people aren't homeless, you know, people who work the transit systems, the people who run different stores, shops, like just everything that keeps the city going. These people aren't homeless, but yet they have to deal with homeless issues. And I don't think it's right. And I think in large part, a lot of it is due to the way that the city is handling it or not handling their homelessness and drug issue. It's kind of messed up, if you ask me. Because these are the people in the middle. And the people in the middle are the people that hold up society, whether we want to believe it or not. There does not exist a situation where you have a society where there's a small percentage of have-nots and then everyone else is at the utter and complete bottom. Without a middle, you have no support. You have no base. Because these are the people that take on the responsibilities, that take on the hard work of doing what's necessary to keep society going. So it begs the question, it's like, are we just racing to the bottom here? I don't know. That's what it looked like to me when I was in San Francisco. Because I don't think it's sustainable. I just don't. Yo, real quick before you go, just want to let you know that for the remainder of 2019, I'm going to be giving away a bunch of awesome products. And I'm going to be doing this every single month. So if you want to learn more about how to sign up so you can potentially win some awesome products, hit the link in the description section and learn. All right, folks. Holla. What's going on, folks? This is Colion Noir. If you like what you saw in this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button that should be located on the bottom left portion of the screen. I mean, come on. Who are you fooling? I know you want to.